I'm your number one fan.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
My mom and dad are gonna
I see dead people.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome back to the Killer Cuties podcast.
That's us.
Ooh, big lead up there. Happy Tuesday.
It is. It is a happy Tuesday.
It is the happiest of all the Tuesdays.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
It's a good Tuesday, but
It's a fine Tuesday.
it's a Tuesday. It
Yeah.
is Tuesday.
For once we're actually recording this on Tuesday too. So nice.
Well, we're here to talk about Nope,
We are.
but first, other
Two
things.
things. Yeah. Not just news. It's also, well, this episode's coming out on October 1st. It's the first day. It's officially Halloween month.
Oh, yeah, brother.
And even though we celebrate spooky stuff all year round, maybe you don't. So happy spooky season officially. And there's a lot of movies that are coming out this month. So I'm gonna do that. Katie's gonna tell you news, and then we're gonna fuck. I
Yep.
should probably not swear in the first 2 minutes of the like YouTube hates us, but
It's fine.
yeah, it's fine. We're not monetizing anyway, so it doesn't matter.
We're just being honest.
That's all we can do. All right, there's a lot of movies coming out in October, so I'm kind of going to go through them a little bit quickly.
Tell us about them.
Okay. October 3rd, we got Salem's Lot. It's an adaptation of Stephen King's novel of the same name, and it's being released on Max. Very exciting. Then on October 4th, we have like 4 different movies. First, we have VHS Beyond. It's the next film in the VHS franchise. It's set to release exclusively on Shudder, and it features segments directed by Justin Long and Kate Siegel, among others.
It's like basically directed by Mike Flanagan.
No, because she's her own person.
I'm sure they help each other.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. They're married. They love each other.
Yeah.
Anyways, very cool. Very excited about that. Then we have Things Will Be Different. It's a science fiction thriller about a brother and sister robbers who use time travel to lay low after their crimes. That sounds kind of interesting.
We haven't done a lot of time travel.
I know. I'll throw one in the mix. Then we have Monster Summer, which is an adventure horror that's going to be directed by David Henry, a la Justin from Wizards of Waverly Place.
Wait, isn't David Henry also the person who did It's Coming to Me?
Mm-hmm.
The one with Tom Hanks, and he's on a boat, and there's pirates, and he gets kidnapped.
The Somali Pirates movie?
Yeah.
You think that was directed by David Henry? I don't think so, babe.
Oh, okay.
I'll look it up. What was that movie called?
There's a song in it called Safe Now. If that helps.
Tom Hanks.
Somali pirate movie.
Captain Phillips.
Oh, there we go.
Captain Phillips was directed by Paul Greengrass, which couldn't sound less like David Henry.
Who did the score?
Music by Henry Jackman.
Okay, that's
now we're
closer.
getting close.
Okay, you can see where the confusion lies.
I can't, but sure.
I can. Okay, sorry. Anyway, all right.
Anyways, no,
October
David
4th.
Henry was in How I Met Your Mother and Wizards of Waverly Place. 2 more for October 4th. One, Little Bites, which is described as in a desperate attempt to protect her 10-year-old daughter, a young widow allows a nightmarish monster to slowly eat her alive.
Who? The kid or the mom?
The mom. To save her daughter, she lets the monster eat her alive.
The mom. The mom's
yes.
being eaten.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay.
That says it's going to be released theatrically. I'm not sure if it's going to be limited or not because I haven't seen like previews, or I don't even think it has a poster yet. So I'm assuming it's going to be a limited release.
That's next week.
Yeah. That's why I'm assuming it's going to be
Yeah,
very limited release. And then we have Frankie Frico, which is about an uptight yuppie that must battle a maniacal rock and roll goblin. Also, I believe getting a limited release.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. Then we're moving a little bit forward. On October 11th, we have Terrifier 3. It's a Christmas-themed third installment of the franchise. We also have Seven Cemeteries, which is about a recent parolee who gets a Mexican witch to resurrect his old posse so they can help him save a woman's ranch from ruthless drug lords. And it stars Danny Trejo.
Yay, fun.
Yes. On the 18th, we have Smile 2, the long-awaited, not long-awaited, actually, it came out in 2022. But anyways, the long-awaited sequel to Smile. Yes. Obviously, Smile was very successful, so people are excited about Smile 2. And then on the 18th, we also have Rippy, a killer kangaroo movie.
Oh my god.
Supposed to have a limited and streaming release on this day. That is an Australian film, though, so I'm not sure if the limited release is only in Australia. That could be, but it is supposed to also go to streaming.
That would be a big bummer.
Yeah. And then we also have Die Alone, which is about a man with amnesia who bands together with a rugged survivalist after a devastating virus causes a zombie-like outbreak. Interesting. And then the last one, on October 25th, we have Your Monster, which is a romantic comedy horror starring Melissa Barrera, New Age Scream Queen. Nope, Scream Queen. But that's about a young actress enduring a cancer diagnosis and an upsetting relationship breakup when she discovers a terrifying yet weirdly charming monster living in her closet.
Yay.
Yeah, I actually
it's
saw...
kind of like Lisa Frankenstein.
It kind of has that vibe, yeah. I saw the preview. I went to see The Substance the other day, and the preview played before that, and I was like, this looks kind of funny and cute, so I'm excited for it. But
yay.
And those are all the October movies. Well, all the ones I could find that are releasing. I'm sure there's some deep cuts out there that I couldn't find, but...
Yeah. Fun. I'm most looking forward to the kangaroo one.
Me too.
Yeah. All right, let's talk some news.
Okay.
I'll talk about another release. It's not a movie.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a fan of American Halloween circa the 50s through 70s,
Great.
that vibe, I have a lighthearted, nostalgic news update.
Oh.
Just for you. Ben Cooper Inc., which was one of the 3 largest Halloween costume manufacturers in the United States, is getting the documentary treatment. They, I mean, everyone who dressed up in the 50s through the 70s wore a Ben Cooper Inc. costume or mask or makeup or something. So it's very nostalgic. They were a licensing and manufacturing powerhouse. The documentary is full of nostalgic footage and focuses on the cultural impact of Ben Cooper Inc. It looks super cozy, very fun Halloween watch, and it's called Dressing Up Halloween.
Cute.
Yeah, super cute.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we've got The Hollywood Reporter just released an interview with Mike Flanagan about his new addition to the Exorcist franchise.
Mm-hmm.
We still haven't gotten any plot details. We don't even have a name, but we got some notes and guarantees from Flanny. He said, 1, he would not have entered into such a monolithic, that's his word, monolithic property without being sure he has something new to bring to the table.
Okay.
So that's good news. 2, that something new will honor the original film, but it's not going to capitalize solely on nostalgia.
Okay.
Also promising. And then maybe the most promising is he said that his installment in the franchise is the scariest movie he's ever made. So yeah, Flanny's Exorcist film is scheduled for March 13th, 2026.
Oh, that's so far away.
Yeah, it's a really long time away.
A year and a half?
It doesn't even have a name. Which, how does he know it's the scariest movie he's ever made? He hasn't even fucking made it yet.
That is a really good point.
Yeah, what the hell? I just thought about that.
You know what? I'll trust it. He hasn't really disappointed me yet, so go off, Mike Flanagan.
Mm-hmm. None of his movies have disappointed you? Movies or series or anything? None of his properties?
I don't think I've ever watched one of his things and not like hated it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, good. Not hated it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sorry. I was going to say not liked it. I think I've enjoyed everything I've watched from him. They're not maybe my favorite movie ever, but I still enjoyed it, you know?
The Ouija movie? Yeah. It was good?
What's better than the original? You watch the original and then you watch his sequel that he did, and you're like, holy shit.
Okay.
He really popped off where the original did not.
Oh, good. Okay. Well,
yeah, no, I
trust him.
enjoyed it. Yeah. That's probably an example of like, it's not like my top 10 favorite movies or anything, but yeah, it was good.
Okay,
It
good.
was a fun watch.
Good. Even his worst movie was fun.
Is that his worst movie?
I don't know. I'm assuming.
Oh.
It's inspired by
sure.
a board game.
Okay, first of all, now it's a board game. No, that movie, it has like good reviews.
Oh, okay.
It's I don't think it's considered his worst.
What's his worst?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, well. We talked about it for too long.
Yeah, this is now a Mike Flanagan podcast.
Yeah. Okay, and one more. This is kind of a long one, but it's exciting. Blumhouse, sick of talking about them, and Peacock have teamed up to host a weekend-long sleepover party at the Stanley Hotel next month. It's
okay.
It's Friday. Well, I guess this month if you're listening to the podcast. It's Friday, October 18th through Sunday, October 20th. They're retheming the rooms of the hotel to be either Insidious. What is that word supposed to be? Oh, Purge. Sorry. It says Purche.
You wrote this.
I know. I have no. At least I've made the connection. Anyway, they're retheming the rooms to be Insidious, Purge, Happy Death Day, or Freaky themed. All Blumhouse films, obviously.
And all the ones they used for the Terror Tram.
Exactly.
Sans
Freaky?
Megan. Freaky was there, yeah.
Oh.
It was the girl with the red jacket and like remember I said like, oh, that's Vince Vaughn and Freaky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Funny. Anyway, it's a totally immersive experience where you'll get to mingle with the characters from the movies, eat and drink Blumhouse-inspired treats at the Blumhouse bar. You'll get to play the upcoming Blumhouse games release Fear the Spotlight. And then you'll get to explore the set of the upcoming Atomic Monster thriller TV show, Teacup.
Oh.
Because that's a Peacock show.
Yeah.
That's where Peacock comes into all this. And I haven't gotten to the best part yet. If I'm reading this correctly,
yep,
guests are going to be kidnapped from their rooms to experience one of 4 personalized and fully immersive, quote, activations inspired by one of the 4 Blumhouse films. Each one has a different horror level, so you can kind of choose how intense you want that experience to be.
Got it. Okay.
So that's kind of fun. And then one more thing, not as fun as what I just said. Guests will get to attend early screenings of Teacup and an upcoming Blumhouse film.
Wolfman?
Dunno. Maybe. I mean, Teacup comes out the week after, or I think maybe even that week.
Oh, okay. I don't think Wolfman comes out until
January,
but still, that's not that far off. Like they'd be doing like screenings of it for credit, like or audiences, I guess, where you can like fill out forms and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, but anyway, you can.
I'm kind of excited about Wolfman.
I am too. All I know about Wolfman is from Hotel Transylvania. And I like what I see. Honestly,
all I know is that it's directed by Lee Wanell, and that's my baby girl. So,
speaking of Lee Wanell, James Wan is obviously the director of Teacup.
That checks out.
Director/creator, because it's Atomic Monster. Anyway, okay, if you're interested in booking that experience, you can do it on the Stanley Hotel website. Packages include a 2-night stay, all of the experiences, a welcome dinner, $100 towards other meals, nightly screenings, and 2 free drinks. That's 1 per night.
Nice.
So
all right, I'm also just saying, I just looked up like upcoming Blumhouse projects. I'll say it right
Whatever.
one day.
Who cares?
Who fucking kidding? No, I'm kidding. We should pronounce people's names right, but
it's not his name.
I'm also pretty sure his name is pronounced Jason Blum. Am I crazy that I think that?
No, because that's how it should be pronounced. But I mean, maybe it's not.
I agree. Anyways, the only one that comes out after October 18th is Wolfman. That's the next one after that date. So if you're going to see an early screening, I think that might be the one.
That would be pretty cool.
I gotta go.
We should go.
Okay.
I would piss myself to stay in the Stanley Hotel.
I wanted to do that like just normally. Just because I think it'd be like a fun time.
Yeah. Just like lay down and get your picture taken with the floor. It's like the most iconic floor of any building ever. You know?
Is that floor even still there? Maybe. They probably did.
What, you think they'd get rid of it?
Yeah. All right. Should we start talking about Nope? All right. Little refresher. A man and his sister discover something sinister in the skies above their California horse ranch, while the owner of a nearby theme park tries to profit from the mysterious otherworldly phenomenon. That's from Google. Nope was written and directed by Jordan Peele. It's his third directorial film. It stars Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, and Stephen Yeun. It has a 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb, an 83% critic score, and a 69% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. It made $172.3 million on a $68 million budget.
In COVID. $68 million?
That was the budget, yeah.
Holy shit. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking money.
Is it weird that like that seems right for this movie though?
No, it seems right, but holy fuck, that's a lot of money. Sorry,
Yeah.
I interrupted you.
I mean, it is like his third film. His first two were very successful, so I think it was like they were willing to make the investment, and it paid off.
How much did they make back?
172.3.
Oh, okay.
Almost $100 million.
I thought, for some reason, I thought.
No, over 100 million.
Read 1 million, like 1.7 million is what my brain populated when you said that. So it was like, whoa, that's a terrible return.
They made $114 million off of this movie.
Amazing.
Yes, it was successful.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
Sorry, I totally interrupted you.
No, that was the end, luckily. So
okay, good. Yeah,
that's all I had.
$60 million is a fucking wild amount of money.
Yeah,
I love that, and it was during COVID too. The fact that he made that much, and he was worried about it. Everybody was worried about it. Like, how are we going to get people back into the theaters? And he's like, "Watch this. Hold my beer.
Create a spectacle."
Mm-hmm. Boy, did he!
Yeah, he sure did. Where should we start? No, I'm going to start.
Okay.
Did you notice the little cameo at the beginning there?
Osgood Perkins?
Yeah.
I sure did.
I was wondering if you would notice, since you had, now you've seen Legally Blonde, but
I did notice.
But yes, Osgood Perkins plays Finn Bachman, the like little director guy at the beginning.
Yeah. And it's cute because he's the character that says, "Aren't you like movie royalty?"
Mm-hmm. And he's movie royalty.
And he's royalty.
Yep. Yeah.
Very cute.
Yeah, shout out Longlegs.
Why?
Just because he directed it.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Why did you think I was mentioning?
I don't know. That's
okay.
why I asked.
Cool. Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
That's why.
Yeah. Okay.
People love Longlegs.
It was good.
It's fine.
We have a whole episode about it.
Yeah, you can listen to our thoughts about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much summed up by what we just said, though.
Yeah.
It was good. It was fine. That's it. That's what we thought.
Yep. Speaking of that scene,
mm-hmm.
supposedly they had to film Keke Palmer doing it like 15 different ways, which I can't even think of 3 different ways to say all of that monologue.
Yeah.
She was able to do it wildly different, is what Jordan Peele called it. Wildly different. 14 different times.
Wildly different. I wonder if that means the same thing as like us. Like in a normal context, like wildly different is like, a chocolate cake and an apple.
Yeah, those are very
But maybe in acting, it's like not. It's not like all of a sudden she put on a British accent for one of the takes, right? So I think it's maybe not.
The direct quote is very wildly different.
Yeah. I would like to see it.
Yeah, I want to see all 14 of those takes.
Yeah, release a director's cut, but it's just every take you did of
I would watch it.
Every take that Keke Palmer did, actually, specifically, is what I would like to see.
Yes, of every scene that she's in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm into it.
Yeah, also with that monologue, you kind of hear it again later when she's watching her dad, like, clip on the TV. And you notice that when she says it, she says, our great-great-grandfather. And then OJ says, great. She's like, another great. And it's because she's quoting directly from her dad's speech where it was his great-great. And she has to add another because she's just memorizing his speech rather than, like, adapting it to her own. So
yes.
Nice little touch.
Yeah, that's very thoughtful.
I still, like, I don't think I'll ever come to terms with, like, how he writes films.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the epitome of, like, you know, how it became a meme of, like, when your teacher tells you why the door is blue and you're like, why can't it just be blue? Like, why does it have to have meaning? Mm-hmm. No, it's because of people like Jordan Peele. Like, everything means something and is intentional. And I just could never be bothered to think that hard.
Yeah.
Good for him.
It's impressive.
It is very impressive.
He's a genius.
Yeah.
Did you, unrelated, did you grow up with a Fry's Electronics?
Not that I remember. No.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Because all the different Fry's Electronics, I don't know if you know this, are themed. They're all themed differently.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the one that I grew up closest to is golf themed, which is terrible. It's the worst theme ever. The one in Yorba Linda, California, I think, is the other one I kind of went to a lot. Mm-hmm. Was space themed one, not alien themed because that's Burbank. Mm-hmm. But like NASA themed. And there was like a Mayan one and Egypt.
Interesting. Were they just like West? Is it just a West Coast company?
I think so. It's Kroger.
Okay. I could have just not been paying attention.
Probably.
Because I was 10.
Yeah.
Well, anyway. Yeah, the one that they filmed at was the one that used to be in Burbank. They're all closed now. But.
Yes. And they were closed before filming started. Mm-hmm. The backstory there is Randy Fry, the co-founder of Fry's Electronics, was like not doing interviews about it. He was turning down all the media requests, but he got an email from Monkey Paw, which is Jordan Peele's production company, saying like, hey, we want to film this movie. Here's what it's about, high level. And Randy Fry was a huge sci-fi fan, a 1950s sci-fi fan. And he was like, yeah, do it. We'll leave the Burbank location untouched. You can use it. And they did.
Very fun.
So fun. I love that.
I know. When you were visiting, we drove by where it was.
Oh.
Yeah. It's right by the airport.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Was. Yeah, right by the airport. Rip. Oh, did you like how did you feel about the chimpanzee? I know he wasn't in cahoots with the alien like you wanted.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That happened to you specifically?
But no, thank you. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Why do you ask?
I don't know, just because you wanted them to be in cahoots, and I thought that was funny.
Because we have a podcast, and that's what we do, is we talk about each other's opinions.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to make conversation. That's a crazy thing to do on a podcast.
Yeah, God, it's so fucking weird.
I'll see myself out. You can handle this, right?
Yeah, I got it. No, I enjoyed the parallels between the alien and the chimpanzee. Mm-hmm. I do think it did a really good job of kind of like spelling out how we exploit animals in film, or used to. We don't do that so much anymore. It really reminded me of Free Willy, weirdly. There were a couple of scenes that were like shot very similarly to the original Free Willy movie.
Interesting.
Which is another movie about exploitation of animals.
Mhm.
But anyway, yeah, I liked it. I am upset that the monkey didn't have any effect at all on the aliens. But did I call him a monkey? Chimpanzee.
Yeah, exactly. I think they might not have had like a direct impact on it, but I do think it kind of did because the incident with the chimpanzees shaped Jupe.
Yeah,
What's his name? Ricky? Shaped him, and that influenced his relationship with the alien.
yeah, I guess it's true.
This is definitely a connection.
Yeah, I think that it is extremely human to see a giant fucking sand dollar jellyfish alien
Mm-hmm.
and think, you know what I can do? I can tame that and make money off of it. That's the
Yeah.
most human human instinct ever.
Yeah. Kind of, yeah. Yeah. I like though that I remember when this movie came out, and so many people were so confused by the chimpanzee storyline. Like they just didn't get why that was put in there. That was the two biggest complaints was like the chimpanzee scene didn't make sense to people, and then also they did not like the alien design. I don't know. I don't get that. I thought the chimpanzee like it made perfect sense within it. And I think that kind of came like calmed down too after I think it was Variety like released a whole article about what the chimpanzee meant within the context of the film. So I don't hear that as much anymore because I think a lot of people understand now why that was significant.
Yeah.
Um, but the alien design I don't get at all. I thought that was such an original, like an original take on a classic design. Because it's basically saying, what if the UFO that we see is actually just the alien? And
Yeah.
I love that idea. Like that's so you don't see unique stuff anymore, right? Well, you do, but like it's hard to have a unique take on something that's been done 1.5 million times before.
Yeah.
And done in so many, yes, different ways, but kind of following that same classic design outline.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved it.
Yeah, and I think I agree 100%. That very fresh, interesting take. Like you're right about it being a UFO, but you're wrong about it being a machine.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what, like thinking back, I think that's what I didn't like about what was the other alien movie, the Hulu one with like 2 words of dialogue in it.
Oh, No One Will Save You.
Yes,
Mm.
that was too on the nose pop culture aliens for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which I can understand that complaint. I think we talked about that a little bit in there.
Yeah.
Like it didn't bother me because that was the point in that film, but I do get it is kind of nice to see something a little bit different and
Totally
fresh.
different. Yeah. And it did kind of, I mean, I already said it looked like a sand dollar to me when it was in its UFO state, and then it turned into a jellyfish, and then it was like, have you seen the like AI generated biblically accurate angel graphics?
No.
Oh, that's kind of what it reminded me of.
Oh, don't they have eyes everywhere?
Yeah, they do have a lot of eyes, yeah,
Mm.
but they're very like tentacly, lots of big, like they're really big, menacing,
Yeah.
jellyfishy.
Hmm.
So I could see if he took inspiration from that, but
Yeah. I don't know. I like the design.
me too. And I don't understand the other complaint either, because it was very clear to me the chimpanzee and the alien were paralleled.
Yeah, I felt so too. Yeah, I don't know. I guess people wanted it more like spelt out for them.
Can't win. You can't fucking win. You can't win. You spell it out too much, people are like, oh, you spell it out. You don't spell it out enough. Like, come on.
I think this is like the perfect amount of
Yeah.
explanation. There's enough to make an inference. It's clearly very well thought out. Like it doesn't make you question, did the writer not know? Which is my problem with some other movies where it's like they're wanting us to infer what happened, but they don't even know what happened. That's when I have an issue with it.
Yeah.
It's more so when it's like you make this inference because they gave you all the tools to do so.
Yeah.
That's good storytelling. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't feel like this story was lacking anything. It didn't spoon feed me anything. I wasn't left hungry.
Jordan Peele keeps you fed.
Daddy. Very daddy of him.
Yeah. Fun fact about your father. No, but after seeing the movie, there was a fan who went on Twitter and they said that Jordan Peele is the greatest horror director of all time. And he responded and said, I love your enthusiasm, but I will just not tolerate any John Carpenter slander.
My other daddy.
Your other daddy. And I think that's funny because Keith David is in this film. He plays their dad, Otis Sr.
Yeah.
And Keith David was in 2 John Carpenter films, one of which we've seen and reviewed on the podcast, The Thing.
The Thing.
Yeah, he was Childs.
Yeah. I was really bummed that he wasn't in this more.
I know. It's a very quick cameo, but...
He's also one of my favorite villains in Disney.
Oh, from Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Facilier.
Yeah.
His voice is just iconic.
I just watched that for the first time not that long ago.
I love that movie. You didn't like it as much as I do, but...
I didn't. I don't think I'm like a people turning into animals movie girl.
Yeah, that's fair.
We talked about this. It just wasn't. Disney does that a lot with people of color mainly, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a trend.
But that's a whole nother podcast.
It's a really great celebration of jazz music, though. I like that.
The music was fantastic.
Mhm.
Which segue, I was paying attention to the soundtrack.
Good.
I really enjoyed it.
It's good.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's like modern Western.
Yeah, I was hoping that you thought it was good because I feel like I'm starting to be on the right track of understanding scores good versus bad. And this one, good.
Good score. Yes.
That's the extent in which I can critique them at this point, is just good, bad.
Yes. You were correct.
Yeah, thank you. I thought so.
Yeah, I really loved the score of this in particular.
Mm-hmm. Especially the scene where it's like at the end and the alien's there and Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya are just like staring at each other and he's gonna go and she has to like take him and he's like doing the look at me like thing. And the sound, I was just like tearing up a little.
Yeah. The part I liked the most, like score wise, was and visually also very stunning, was when OJ's coming towards the camera, very small, towards the camera on the horse, and the sand dollar is just behind him, like getting ready to suck him up. Yeah, that was very like kind of like sci-fi Western, modern Western. Hard to describe, but very cool soundtrack.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you did. I did too.
Thank you.
It means you're right.
I'm used to that.
Yeah. Well, can we go back to the chimpanzee for a second?
Absolutely.
It was played by a man.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Notary. Not even the first time that man has played a primate.
He's good at it.
Yeah, he's really good. That's like his niche, I guess, is portraying CGI primates, which is a cool niche. I mean, I portrayed a primate in a middle school film once about Jane Goodall. It was great.
Oh, yes. You've told me about this.
Yes. So you know, I mean, I could have been Terry Notary. You never know. Anyway.
Yeah.
He played Rocket in he still to this day plays Rocket in the Planet of the Apes, the new Planet of the Apes. And he played Kong in Kong Skull Island, the 2017 Kong movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Andy Serkis.
Yes.
Like he does that a lot too, where he'll play.
He's also in Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, he plays the main one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Yeah, I feel like he does that type of CGI work a lot, where he's the base for the model.
Yep.
Some people are just good at that shit.
Yeah. He's Gollum.
Yeah.
Do you want to know something crazy about this? Has nothing to do with anything.
Yes.
Oh, it's about CGI. The Hobbit movies. Did we make you watch those? The Hobbit
No.
movies? Okay, well, there's a dragon, Smaug.
Yeah. I always get him confused with the one in the Lord of the Rings. The Eye,
Oh, okay.
because that's S names.
Sauron.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time people are like, "Oh yeah, Smog the dragon," and I'm like, "That dude was an eye," and then it's the wrong one.
Wrong franchise.
Yeah,
I mean, same franchise, wrong
wrong
franchise.
movies.
Yeah. Anyway, well, you haven't seen it. That's so frustrating. Anyway,
Sorry.
Smaug, the dragon, menacing, enormous dragon,
Yeah,
is
it's just
CGI
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch
Yeah, I knew that because I've seen like the behind the scenes of it.
of him doing the growling.
Yeah,
It's so uncomfortable.
it is.
Why was that necessary to use his face? You can't just make a dragon from scratch?
No, it had to be him.
So strange. Very, very strange.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't even resemble a dragon. Like, why?
Well, Andy Serkis doesn't resemble Gollum.
Well, if you watch the behind the scenes footage of him going through the stream, he kind of does.
But I think it's easier when you have a base there because then the environment and people can act around it
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
rather than creating something from scratch and then you're just standing in front of a green screen trying to like guess where the head's gonna be.
Well, they use targets for that.
That's true.
Like training a whale.
Exactly like training a whale.
There's one thing I know a lot about. It's training whales.
Yeah.
And 91 horror movies.
Exactly 91.
Yeah. Oh, remember when we were talking about Jordan Peele and how amazing he is at writing?
Yeah, like 10 seconds ago. I do.
Well, it was more than that. When Stephen Yeun's character says, "In 1 hour, you will leave here having witnessed a spectacle," there's exactly an hour left of the movie.
That is like one of those small little details in movies that will make me come. Like, I think that's incredible.
I was gonna say
Just
wet.
the timing, the planning. I love that shit. It's kind of the same as like filming in like chronologically. It doesn't even matter when you actually watch the film, but I just love it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah, another little detail like that is, and this one, I just love this one so much, but it's when they first go to meet with Jupe, and Emerald's like looking around at all his little trinkets and stuff from his shows, and he says to her, "Su casa es mi casa,"
Yes.
instead of "mi casa es su casa," and then you find out he's trying to buy the ranch. So it's like just that little flip. I think everybody knows what that means, but just in case, he said "your house is my house" instead of the classic "my house is your house." So I thought that was a nice little touch.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Oh, and then another one. We could talk about like all these little things that he
so many of them.
peppers in throughout. But another one I really like is at the beginning of the movie when he's at the set with Lucky the horse. And I think it's the actress comes over and says, "Oh, what's his name? Lucky." She says, "Well, is he?" And then Lucky ends up surviving. He is lucky.
He is lucky.
Yeah.
There's, I don't know how I'm getting to these things, but anyway, Miley Cyrus's horse is named Blue Jeans. Jean jacket, blue jeans.
What are they trying to tell us?
Miley Cyrus is an alien.
Hannah Montana is real.
Oh.
What a great fun fact.
Thanks. Sorry.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. I thought about that every time it popped up. Every time they said something about jean jacket, I was like, oh my God, like Miley Cyrus's horse, blue jeans.
Just like Miley Cyrus's horse. That's really funny.
You see how I got there? It's a horse movie.
Horses with jeans in their name.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And aliens.
Well, that part. I gotta rewatch the Hannah Montana movie.
We just talked about the scene with Ricky. Is his name Ricky? Jupe? Whatever. Stephen Yeun's character.
Yes. His name is Ricky Jupe Park.
Yes, Jupe is his nickname, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the scene where they meet him for the first time in his office or whatever, the metal scissors from Us are on his desk.
Yep.
Yay.
Yeah, nice little touch there.
I didn't realize there was so much time between Us and Nope. 3 years, almost. But I mean, COVID, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably going to be, more than 3 years before we get his next one, so.
Well, I mean, it's in pre-production, so maybe, oh, yeah. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Yeah, like 4 years. Ugh.
Yeah. He takes his time.
Whatever, please do. Don't rush.
When he, like, gives us shit like this, I'm fine with it. You can take as long as you need.
Yeah, well, don't take too long.
It's like no rush. Like a little rush, but no rush.
Yeah. Like, if it shouldn't be after 2027.
No.
5 years? That's plenty of time.
Yeah. I hope so.
Fine, but please don't.
Yeah, we want more Mr. Peele. Please.
Yeah. Let's talk about the chimpanzee again.
Okay.
All right. It was inspired. Well, I don't know if this is true, but it could have been. There have been chimpanzee attacks in the history of film.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest one, I think they just like pretty recently did a documentary about it, was the 2009 incident of Travis, the chimpanzee, who mauled and disfigured, much like the poor girl in this movie, a woman, a friend of, I think, the owner of Travis. And he mauled her until he got shot. Yep. Police shot him and killed him. Very sad.
I think we should just let wild animals be wild animals.
Yeah. What do you need a wild animal for when you have Andy Serkis?
So true.
And Benedict Cumberbatch.
And I already forgot his name. Terry.
Notary. Terry Notary.
Terry Notary. Yeah. Yeah. I just think that that's for the best, because nobody ends up benefiting from it. People get hurt and then the animal dies for no reason. It's not their fault that they were kept in a situation that they shouldn't have been kept in and then lashed out.
Yep. God, reminds me of Harambe.
That's like when we entered the bad timeline.
Yeah.
Probably not, but there were some atrocities that happened before that. But also, I'm just saying, that's like, when you're our age, pre-Harambe is like the happiest we ever felt.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it really was like a flip of a switch.
Yep.
Harambe
it's also kind of around the time that we all became, like, entered into adulthood and realized that the world's not.
Yeah.
Not really what we were promised, but that might also have something to do with it.
Yeah.
But justice for Harambe.
What other fun facts do you have? Don't talk about the one I want to talk about.
Okay. Now I have to look and see which one I think you want to talk about and then talk about it.
No.
Brendan Perea, who plays Angel Torres, few changes to his character because of his influence with talking with Jordan Peele. But he was originally written as like a happy-go-lucky, kind of geek-like character until Brandon came in and was like, wait, what if we did this though?
Oh, I love that for him.
Yeah, and then he was also supposed to die. His character was supposed to be killed off in the end, and it took, I guess, like several rewrites for him to convince both Jordan Peele and Universal Studios that he should live.
Oh,
I know.
I'm glad he lived.
Me too.
He's a fun
I
guy.
feel like it was all the people who kind of were semi-respectful of the monster. Although I guess they still wanted to capitalize off of it, so maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know.
All the likable characters.
Yeah. I mean, I liked Jube.
I did too, but he's like a likable bad character, you know?
Yeah.
You're
Which
like, stop that.
That was another thing I thought of. This movie doesn't really have a villain exactly. You know what I mean?
Not really. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
guess you could say Jean Jacket is the villain.
But I think he's just misunderstood.
Yeah, he's also eating people, but
Well, you don't villainize a tiger for eating a bird.
that's true. That's a
I'm
good
just
point.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't think there's a baddie in this one. Everybody had redeeming qualities.
That's fair. They're all likable in their own way.
Yeah, it's fun and refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really to hate.
Yeah.
Although I do like hating people.
Oh,
Just I didn't have to, which was nice.
a nice break from the
Yeah.
hatred.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of love hating people too.
Yeah. It's so easy.
Sometimes it's just fun to be a hater.
Yeah.
Not in a harmful way, just in like I can say like I hate Jared Leto and it doesn't matter because he's never going to know who I am or know that I hate him or anything.
But he might deserve it a little.
Oh, 100%. I don't care if he finds out. But I'm just saying like it's fun to hate people when like it's not going to impact anything, you know?
Yeah. Tomorrow, TMZ, small podcast, absolutely shits on Jared Leto. Jared Leto responds.
I wouldn't be surprised if he like spends hours combing through Google results of his name just to see. He seems like the type, you know what I mean?
He does.
Bitch.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, what other fun facts do you have?
I have one about the filming.
Great.
This is the first horror film, and I think the first R-rated film to be filmed with IMAX cameras.
Hey.
Yeah, but not all of it. Also, interestingly, the night sequences, specifically the ones shot in the field, the Haywood's field, were shot in the day with a kind of like weirdly rigged rig by cinematographer Hoyt Van Hoytema, I think is how you say his name. Their name. It's basically just like a regular old camera, and then a separate camera that's adjusted to be super sensitive to infrared light. They put both of the cameras on a 3D camera rig, and then the two images that they gather are composited together and it gets those like really cool colors and the like neat effects that we get in the night scenes of the movie. So it's a very interesting kind of like combination of cinematic techniques.
I like it.
Me too. I wish I had seen this in IMAX. Maybe they'll re-release it.
Maybe.
I demand it.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's a spectacle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a spectacle film about spectacles. You know what it kind of reminds me? I say this with all the love in the world, but have you ever seen the clip from Family Guy where Peter's like, I didn't care for The Godfather. And they're all like, what do you mean? He's like, it insists upon itself, Lois. It insists upon itself. I think this movie kind of insists upon itself.
Yeah.
But in a way that I don't care. Like, I don't mind, you know?
Yeah. I think most people would agree with that about The Godfather as well. Not that I've seen
I've never seen The Godfather. Oh.
Neither of us have seen The Godfather, but that's okay.
I don't care to.
Yeah, it just seems
I'm
like
sure it's a great film.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like my type of film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mob crime. Whatever. Of all of the crime, that's probably the least interesting.
Oh, okay. I went to the Mob Museum once in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it fun?
It was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
They had like the actual wall from the Valentine's Day Massacre. It's kind of crazy.
Don't know what that is.
You can Google it. But anyways, it was a mob fight. But like
God.
they have like a piece of the actual wall with like the bullets still in it. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
That is crazy.
Kind of interesting.
It's like going to the Titanic Museum and they have like pieces of the Titanic.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
The song starts playing in your head. You start feeling real cold.
Yeah. People died, Katie.
Yeah. Respectfully.
Respectfully.
Speaking of crime, did you
Yes.
read about the true story of the like first cinematographer, Edward Muybridge?
Oh, yeah. He killed a guy.
He killed a guy. He killed his wife's mistress. What is it called when you're a boy? It's not our mister.
I don't know. Let me Google it. Male form
Lover?
of mistress. Paramour.
Oh. I kind of want to be one of those based on the name.
Oh, wait, no,
alone.
wait. That's from Reddit. I don't know if that's accurate.
Yeah, it's not as reliable.
Oh, wait. Okay, I'm finding other sources.
Okay.
Lover, paramour, or gigolo.
Isn't that a movie with Ben Affleck and J-Lo? No?
No. That's Geely.
Wait, there's definitely a movie called Gigolo, and I'm pretty sure one
There's
or
a
two of them
movie
is in it.
called Deuce Bigelow Male Gigolo. It stars Rob Schneider.
No, you're so right. Wait.
I know.
Wait, what? J-Lo and Ben Affleck movie. There's no way it's called whatever the fuck you just said.
It's Geely.
It's Giggly.
G-I-G.
What? How do you say it?
Geely.
What is it? French?
I don't know. It's his last name in the movie.
How to say giggly?
Can you guess?
It is. It's Geely. It's a pasta shape.
I know it is.
I didn't believe you.
Did you look up the reviews of that film, by the way?
No, are they terrible?
Guess what its Rotten Tomatoes score is?
2.
No.
18.
6.
6
Guess what its IMDb score is?
out of 10?
Yeah.
2.7.
2.6.
Oh, I was so close.
Yeah, it's like regarded as one of the worst movies of all time. People hate that movie.
And they thought they could build a relationship out of that? No, thank you.
Well, they did, and then
they didn't.
and then
they
it
did.
crumbled, and then they did, and then it crumbled, and then they did, and then it crumbled, and then I think they did one more time, and now it's crumbling again. So.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
On again, off again. But mostly off again.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I can't believe we're talking about Geely during a Jordan Peele film. It's disrespectful.
Polar opposite sides of the spectrum.
Yeah. Any other fun facts?
I don't think so. Well, I've got one more. I just want to drive home the Free Willy thing.
Amazing.
So we talked about how the chimpanzee thing and the alien thing are parallel. One of the big things that's a parallel is the balloon popping being kind of the like spark. Free Willy also, there's balloon popping and it freaks Free Willy out and he breaks the glass and like that's his like undoing and people are like, oh, gotta get rid of that whale.
Yeah.
And they're trying to like monetize him and exploit him and
Mm.
I'm telling you, this is modern day Free Willy.
Yeah. It's crazy because a lot of people draw parallels to like Jaws, but
I wouldn't know.
yeah, you will one day.
Is that what they do? They exploit him? They exploit the big shark?
Not necessarily that aspect, but a lot
Okay.
more of like
There's a balloon?
no,
Okay.
in other ways,
Okay.
which you'll find out when you watch it. It's just kind of
He eats people.
story arc and character wise, there's like a few similarities there, but
Okay.
yeah.
He drew inspiration from a bunch of different movies.
Mm-hmm.
Jaws, Jurassic Park,
Yep.
Wizard of Oz, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and King Kong. And Signs.
And
Well,
Signs. Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah. Which makes sense. I feel like you can definitely see that in this movie.
Yeah. I just see through Lily.
As you should.
Yeah.
One more. I want
Okay.
to say one more fun fact just because I do think it's important because Jordan Peele writes movies about like Black people and the Black experience. Like that is like a core thing. He's said many times like he's seen movies about the white experience, so that's not important to him anymore.
Mhm.
And I think that that's very important. But also he specifically chose the cowboy film Buck and Preacher to feature prominently in this movie because he said it was the first film that I know of that had Black cowboys represented in it. The myth that cowboys were just white guys running around is just not true, but we don't know that because of Hollywood and the romanticized view of a very brutalized era. The film shares a similar spirit. And I think that's very important for the film. And I don't know, I like what he's doing.
I agree.
We need more of that. We need more telling stories about people who haven't had their stories told before. And obviously, like this movie, it's not like Get Out where being Black is a central theme in it, but I still do think it carries a very important part of the story. So, yeah.
I mean, to your exact point, when I thought about this movie, the only movie I could think of that featured a Black cowboy was not a movie that celebrated Black cowboys.
Oh, what is it?
Blazing Saddles.
I've never seen it, but I know what you're talking about. Oh, okay.
It did not age well at all.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. All right, let's rate it.
Yeah, we can rate it. Okay. How scary did you think it was?
I give it a 1.5. Generally speaking, not scary, but I will say the first time I watched this, the scene where he walks in the barn and like you find out it's kids later, but like when they first like the shadow figures start coming and stuff, I was freaked out. I was like,
yeah.
oh shit, like it's happening now.
Wait, oh my god, you're so right.
That scene kind of freaked me out. And then obviously like after that, I do think it's more of just it's not scary after that, but that scene, I was like, I have to give it a little bit credit for that because I do remember like being on edge the first time I watched that scene.
Yeah, shit, I forgot about that scene entirely. I blocked it out of my memory because I was fucking pissing.
Yeah.
I gave it a 1, but that's obviously not appropriate because that scene really terrified me.
Yep.
And I was even gonna make a comment about how like the lighting of that scene was so effective. Like,
yes.
You had to like at first it looked like a panda.
Yeah.
Was sitting there on the ground and you're just like, what the fuck is that? And you don't want to like look too hard because it's going to jump out at you or something. So I totally agree. And I'm surprised I forgot about that scene. I would give it a 2 instead. I would give it a full point for that because it's otherwise just not scary.
Yeah, no, it's more of like a spectacle, like an epic film rather than like it kind of teeters the line of horror. It's obviously still horror, but we've talked about movies that teeter that line a lot, and I think this one kind of does. But that scene, I was like, that put me on edge a little bit.
Spooky, yeah. You're so right.
There
was one good jump scare too.
Yeah,
the horse in the window.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good one. How sexy did you think it was?
I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Oh my god.
What can I say? I'm a little slut for the Old West.
Oh.
I love a good, hard-working farm man and a little cowboy action.
Yeah, okay.
The cast was fucking crazy. Steven Yeun, up there. Top 5 hottest celebs for me. Especially from The Walking Dead when he's like all bloodied up and stuff. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cowboy Steven Yeun. Yes, please. Giant tentacle alien guy. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Mm-hmm.
With his little vaginal canal thing happening. Yes, please.
great.
God, this movie was so sexy.
Yeah.
That's all. How sexy did you think it was?
I gave it a 3.
Okay.
Not for the Western aspect. That's not my thing personally.
Okay.
But the cast is I mean,
Yeah.
not a bad looking person on that cast. And I think I might actually be in love with Keke Palmer. So there's that. Daniel Kaluuya I've had a crush on, I think, since like Skins.
Oh.
Stephen Yeun is unbelievably attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Perea, very cute.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
It
about
was
him.
just
He's
a
cute, too.
very good looking cast, plus aliens, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
sexy
whole
movie.
Whole cast is just banger after banger.
Yeah, I liked looking at them
Mm-hmm.
a lot.
And then make them cowboys? Fuck yes, dude.
That part didn't matter to me. It was more Keke Palmer on the motorcycle. That kind of
Oh,
did it
yeah,
for
that was
me a
good, that
little
was
bit.
good.
Oh.
Though during that scene, you could totally tell it was a double.
Yeah, but it didn't matter in my fantasy, so.
Okay. Well, sorry.
I'm obsessed with her.
Your fancy.
I think she's like the funniest, most beautiful person.
She's
I love
great.
her.
Yeah.
Keke Palmer, please be in more things. Especially horror movies. She was great in this. I want to see her in horror.
I agree.
Yeah.
She should be in more stuff. All right. How fucked up did you think it was?
I gave it a 1,
Okay.
but I was kind of teetering between a 1 and a 1.5, but I don't think it was quite a 1.5. I do think like the chimpanzees thing is like the part that is the most fucked up.
Yeah.
Like him like banging the person's head on the ground was a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I was kind of sitting in between there. What about you?
Well, we have seen the chimpanzee smashing faces before.
Yes.
Recently.
Yep. But this one I feel like was almost more graphic.
This one was significantly more graphic. Yes.
Yeah, that one was just cut to black.
Yes. But also I gave it a 1.5 for a combination of the chimpanzee scenes and just because there's some stuff that we haven't seen, like the vibe of the alien and the concept of it being like the UFO being the alien. I felt like that needed to go somewhere in points, and fucked up is where I put it. So 1.5.
All right. Nice.
Yeah.
Overall, what did you think of the third and final for now Jordan Peele film?
This is easily my favorite of the 3.
Really?
Yes, which I know that's an unpopular opinion. But I mean, it felt like it was catered directly to me.
Yeah, it's a very Katie film.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I saved it for last for a reason.
Okay, good. Okay.
I thought this might be your favorite of his. So.
It totally is. I mean, like, animals everywhere. Love the animal stuff. The filmmaking aspects of it, and just like the like animals in film aspect. Old TV vibes, aliens, cowboys. Like, it just had a lot of things that were catered directly to me.
Yeah.
And like I said, I know a lot of people think that this is the weakest of the 3. Those people are just built different. Maybe better even. But for me, this was it was a great, it was like 2024 horror Free Willy, and that just made it feel really special.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it a 4.5.
I like it.
Slaps. I rented it. I'm going to watch it again tonight to go to bed.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like I only ever hear that either this or Us is his weakest film. It's like only ever between those two. Like, it's generally accepted that Get Out is not his worst.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think it's like a super unpopular opinion. I think a lot of people really love this movie. I don't think it was received as well for audiences, maybe, but
yeah,
it's a fantastic film. You should be proud of that rating.
I am.
Because it's the correct rating. I give it a 4.5.
Yeah! Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, no, this... I mean, I did give Get Out 5 stars. I do think that is still my favorite of his films. But this one's like right there. And I think I even said when we did Us, because Us we did first,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I rated that 3.5 stars.
Really?
Yeah, that for me is his weakest. I still like it. It's still a great film. Just not as good as these two. But I think I had even told you my ratings for them too. I was like, yeah, one's a 4.5 and one's a 5. Although I think at that time I said one's a 4 and one's a 5.
Mm.
But on rewatch I upped it for Nope.
We were just talking about how it's one of two things. Either recency bias and I'm rating it too high,
That's
or
true.
like I watch it again and then the score is a lot higher.
Yeah.
It's one of
I
the
think this time it was just I kept thinking like what really like why not a higher score?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's quite a 5. Because again, like I said, it kind of insists upon itself.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I do think that fits this very well. I don't mind it, but I do think that kind of prevents it from being a full 5 for me.
Yeah.
But it's an excellent film. I don't understand how people didn't like it.
Yeah.
I
Especially
don't
if the
get it.
two arguments are the chimpanzee scenes and the design of the alien. Like, go fuck yourself.
That's what I've heard the most.
Crazy people.
Yeah, I think I think maybe those were the two complaints that like stuck with me the most because they were the two things that I almost loved most about the movie.
Yeah.
Where I couldn't understand why people didn't like that. But
Yeah.
hey, if you're listening to this and you fucking hate Nope, let us know. Explain it to us. Explain why in the comments.
Yeah.
Please.
Explain why you're wrong.
Well, we're trying to farm engagement, Katie.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oops. My B.
All right, would you survive?
No. If there's an
Okay.
alien, I'm looking
Yeah.
at it. Especially that alien.
Great. Okay.
So,
You're perceiving the alien and therefore dying.
yep. How about you?
I think I live only because I would have left.
Oh, yeah, okay.
First incident, like that first time, if I'm, I'll put myself in Keke Palmer's shoes, and my brother's like, oh, I run the farm. I'm gonna try to take a picture of it. I'd be like, that's great. You call me and let me know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know if you need assistance at any time. I will send someone to you because I'm not fucking with this.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking with wild animals, especially extraterrestrial ones.
Yep.
No, thank you. I'm packing my bags.
Okay.
Yeah.
Statistically speaking,
Yeah.
not a lot of people survived this movie, so.
Yeah, because they all stayed.
Yeah.
That's a skill issue on their part.
Yeah.
That would not be my undoing.
Right.
Would you
Okay.
like to predict next week's film?
Yeah.
Okay. In honor of the third one coming out, we're watching Terrifier.
Terrifier
Yes.
is about a clown named Art,
Correct.
who I've spoken to on the phone, actually.
Amazing.
Art is not a man in
Okay.
a costume.
Got it.
He's actually a demonic clown being.
Got it. Okay.
And he likes scalping people. That's his vice.
Yeah.
He probably does it with his teeth, his ugly, dirty teeth. I think my heart says that this movie is not going to have much of a plot.
Okay.
I think it's someone orders a clown for a birthday party.
Got it.
Art shows up. People start getting their scalps ripped off.
Yep.
And
roll credits.
Roll credits. Yep. Nobody lives except Art.
Okay.
Because he has to make it till Christmas.
Of course.
The third movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a little body horror. I think it's the vibes of Evil Dead Rise. There's a scalping
Oh.
in that one too.
Okay.
And yeah,
Body horror or just like torture porn?
good
Distinction
differentiation
there, yeah.
distinction, I would lean more towards the torture porn side,
Okay.
just given the
The vibes you've gotten from it.
yeah, it's a torture porn clown movie, and there's no plot at all. He comes to the party, he kills, he leaves, like A Bug's Life. They come, they eat, they leave.
Great.
That's it.
If you hadn't included the like ordering a clown part to a party, nailed it.
Really?
It is a demonic clown torture porn with no plot, really.
Oh my god, I love that.
That's not far off. I don't think a lot of people would argue. That's
Good.
kind of what it is.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
There's a light semblance of a plot. I won't, I don't want the Terrifier cult to come after me, please.
That's who I was going to call out, is the Terrifier cult, because there is certainly a following.
There is
of
a
Mark
huge
the Clown.
following. Yeah. But you haven't seen it yet. Maybe you'll watch it and be like, oh, fuck, I'm in.
I get it. I doubt it.
No?
I seriously doubt it.
Oh, all right.
Clowns aren't the vibe. I mean, it was fantastic. It changed.
So
my
what
life.
is the truth?
Well, I think it is the exception
Okay.
to the rule. And there's only two clowns, so.
Ever. Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Are there other clowns?
No,
Clowns
just
from
the
Outer
two. Yeah, there's Killer Clowns from Outer Space. There's a movie just called Clown. God. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I won't shit on it until I have a reason to. Better not give me one.
Yeah, I think give it a go. Give it a chance. You never know where life will take you. You never know which movies you're gonna like. We've had some upsets here.
We really have.
We have.
Not a lot.
I feel like next week, Art's #1 fan is gonna be sitting across the screen from me.
Would you be surprised?
Yes.
I thought so.
I would be a little surprised if you were like 5 out of 5. This is the greatest movie ever.
I'm pretty sure this movie's a clunker, and people think it's cool to like terrible movies. And that's why he's got.
Some people say that about fans of Jennifer's Body, so
that movie's a masterpiece. So those people are wrong.
I know it is.
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right.
Is the second one better than the first one, or is the second one just gorier? Terrifier.
You want me to tell you? I think the second one's better than the first.
Oh, okay. Should we watch
that's
because
it has.
No, I don't.
If you want to.
No, I don't. I really don't. I don't. I know something terrible happens in the second one that I don't want to see. So that's all I know about it, is that something terrible happens.
Yeah.
And that actually might be the scalping. Is it degloving?
It's something.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the second one's more graphic, but it does have more of a plot, which is the reason why I'll say it's a little bit better. They took notes from people's complaints in the first one. Yeah. Like, all right.
Fine, I guess we'll write an actual movie.
Yep. Yeah, I'm excited.
Me too.
I don't think you are, but that's okay.
I'm really not.
You don't have to be excited for every movie we watch.
This is the first one in a long time I haven't been excited about.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's part of the process.
Yeah.
I can't like all the movies.
It wouldn't be fun if we did.
And who's to say I don't like it? We'll see. Well,
true.
Find out next Tuesday.
Find out next Tuesday if Katie is pro or
con
art.
Art the Clown.
Art in general.
Art.
Just art. All right. Thank you for listening. Appreciate you guys sticking around this long. Like, subscribe, comment to tell us your favorite alien design, and your ranking of the Jordan Peele movies.
Mm-hmm.
Someday someone's actually going to comment when I tell them to.
Not today.
Not today, but one day
One day.
you could be the first.
We've had some comments.
That's true. That's true. All right, cool.
right.
We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.